Here's the second part of the feature on head wrestling coach O.T. Johnson.
I've been training all my life, just through all my life experiences. Everything I've done have prepared me for, everything I've gone through these last 4 years as a head coach, everything I went through the 5 previous years before that. And, I guess when you talk about a time frame, I guess I would say it's been a long time coming. Pretty much watching my parents, everything they've done, watching my peers, watching my bosses, picking out things that I felt like were great life teaching tools, and some things that I thought were just terrible and I would never use when I became a head coach. And just through my life, seeing some of the things, some of the decisions I made, some of the decisions my friends made, and deciding how they affected their lives and how it affected my life. And obviously the good ones I kept, and the bad ones I've made a conscious effort to not repeat. My coaching philosophy is to develop young men and to get the most you can out of them, for not just in the wrestling mat, for everything else they do in life. I think one thing, not just from a wrestling standpoint, but just from a human being standpoint, you always got to try to, have people realize that, whatever they're doing, whether it's wrestling, whether it's playing basketball, going to school, being able to walk, people always have to see that there's someone else that don't have the ability or the resource or the capabilities to do the things they're doing. And sometimes that's all the person needs to hear, to bring it back to reality that, holy smokes, I'm doing something that someone else, no matter how hard they try, no matter what they do, they don't have the ability to do this. And sometimes that's really all it takes for us to be reminded that what we're doing is a privilege. It's not a right, from a wrestling standpoint. There are hundreds of thousands of kids that wrestle in high school. There's a couple hundred from each state that may go on to wrestle in college. There might be 1 or 2 from each team that may go on to wrestle in college at the next level. So, you always got to remind guys that, hey, you're a select few, and especially for our sport, you got to remind guys that there is no NBA, there is no MLB, there is no NFL. Once your eligibility is done here, once you decide that you don't want to wrestle anymore, there is no next level. And obviously there is a next level, but there's a small percentage of guys that go on and wrestle in the Olympics. So you got to take advantage of this opportunity. You got to take advantage of the people you're around. You got to take advantage of, just being able to get tired every day and sweat and be able to push your mind and really just, push yourself, because yes, it's wrestling, but it's not about wrestling. It's about trying to get the most out of your ability, because everything they do in wrestling is going to mimic life. I think that's what makes our sport so unique, is everything we do in it is going to mimic life. And very few of us, there's maybe 4 or 5 guys in the sport of wrestling that are signing $1 million contracts, at the next level. So a lot of these guys aren't doing that. A lot of these guys, the lessons they're learning is helping them to go on to their next profession. And hopefully they see that and they embrace it and say, you know what, whatever I do here, I'm going to carry it over to my, my next career. And I think as a coach, if you're not doing that for your kids, you're doing a disservice to them. And if you're just about wins, then you're not in it for the right reason. And don't get me wrong, I want my guys to win, but I feel like if I motivate them to realize that in the bigger picture, they're going to win more from me. Don't get me wrong, I'm going to hold them accountable. I'm going to hold them accountable to be on time. I'm going to hold them accountable to working hard in the room, because if they don't want to work hard, we'll find out who wants to work hard and we'll get rid of them. But you got to bring something to the table. You don't have to win 30 matches for it, but you got to bring something to the table. You got to be able to be a good training partner. You got to be a guy that somebody looks up to and say, okay, that guy studies hard. That keeps him eligible. I want to be around him so I can have better GPA. That guy, he lifts hard. I want to be around him so I can be stronger, so I can, so I can just be strong on the mat. Oh, that guy, he trains hard. He has great technique. I want to drill with him so I can have good technique too. So you got to always be able to bring something to the table. Well, that guy always has a positive attitude. He might lose a lot of matches, but he's never down. I gotta get some of that so I can always have a good mindset, a high positive mindset, no matter what happens, win or lose. And if you can bring something positive to the table, you're gonna be successful. You know, not everybody's going to win matches. Not everybody's going to be a starter. We have 10 starting positions, and we have 40-something guys. So the reality is, you know, about 30-something guys are going to be short of their goals. But that shouldn't stop you from still writing those goals down. You know, stay positive. You know, if the worst thing that ever happened to you is you lose a wrestling match or you lose a basketball game, and that's the worst thing that happened to you, you got a pretty good life. Because there's more to life than just winning and losing matches. So embrace it and learn from it and move forward. Brave tough.
Thank you for watching this week's edition of the Black and Gold Report. We'll be back on January 24th, so until then, go Braves.